Hooray! And I'm going to change it back to... I'm going to try an experiment. I'm going to turn off studio mode. And then I am going to disable the preview and see what's going on. All right, folks, say stuff. Damn it, hang on. It reset it again. Why? Oh, I understand. Okay. I need to do... So we are live. I believe folks in the chat. Hello, you should be able to hear me. Yeah, you should be able to hear me. You cannot hear anyone else yet because... Well, I gotta pick if you're hearing the game or...
You can't hear me?
Worthy.
You know what? I'm gonna do both. All right. I have owned this headset for a while, and it provides two audio output devices. One for game, one for voice. And I have my Discord set to the wrong one. Okay, now, folks, in the chat, say stuff.
Hi.
Stuff.
Hello.
Holy crap. All right, say stuff again.
We're saying
Hi.
stuff and things.
Oh my glob.
How many
All right,
things of stuff do we have to say?
until my meter does not brick wall at the max of red.
Well, how about now?
Bark?
What the butts? All right.
No, see, but now.
Now?
Why? I'm like dropping by 20 dB. No, 7.1 dB.
Huh. That's
All right.
You need more deebs.
Zargaz,
And that's
do I
how
have
Gumball
you turned
died.
up? No. All right, we're going to try
I
this.
don't
Chat, tell me how audio levels are. Hello, folks. Welcome to DooMing with me, Draggor. This is a little bit of an experiment, and some schedule stuff has changed up. I have bought. I'm paying for the service, but I acquired a new server. We've been using it for the First Squared movie nights. We've been using it for just the random DST 3Ks we've been doing. We've been doing it for, most recently, Socialist Movie Night. And as of right now, we are hosting my Doom server on it. I hope to host a Terraria server there fairly soon.
Ooh, Terraria.
Yeah, we've got some other movie stuff coming. We have to do a demo for it, but a patron-only stream, like login guard server setup is coming. So if you are a patron of Drag It Show or Pepper Coyote or Boozy Badger, those are the three. One of those three or all three is going to be one of our experiments for that. Because, yeah, there are some things people want to do, and they don't want to get screwed by the copyright bots.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, today, the guest will be Tonya Song. As you may have seen on Twitter, schedules had to get shifted around a little bit. She should hopefully be joining us at 6 p.m. Central. So we're going to stick around here and do open play and goof off a little bit. And then once Tonya shows up, I'm going to move over to the live chat. Anyone on Discord here is free to listen live there or stay in this regular one and blab with each other. And yeah.
I'm just trying to...
We might do a silly little gimmick where Tonya is literally going to call in while on her way home before signing on to Doom.
Then you'll be like a real one of those podcasters who get those phone quality calls.
Oh my gosh, how many people are playing? First in line, I gotta restart the server.
Oh.
I'll restart it after this map.
Well, as a first topic, I figure we should continue that point you made in the golf channel.
Which was?
It's hilarious that in D&D, pretty much any player character that's above like level 4 is in the like top 1% of your fantasy economy.
Oh, it is. It's very clear the people that made those systems for Dungeons and Dragons that none of them were alkali. You didn't have your. That was actually one of our panels. It tangentially related at First Squared, and it was talking about like building an actual legal system and structure more than you go to a city. Here is the jail. Here is the court. What are the details? Is there an appellate court? What are the ranks of the different judges? There is a judge. There are different levels of depth. All right. Unfortunately, I'm going to restart the server, so down it goes.
Gotcha.
Well, and like you said, you can pay an entire town to work for you on the order of hundreds of gold, maybe. It's not, a peasant will fucking do anything for you for a day for a single gold piece, right?
Yeah,
Holy
it's
shit.
kind of ridiculous. Okay, let's see if I can make the server come back quickly enough.
I guess not everyone heard Draggor's example in the other chat was why go into the dungeon when you could just pay dwarves 1,000 gold to dig out the entire dungeon?
Okay, the server is back up. I don't know if it's gonna... I think I'm just gonna have to quit and rejoin.
Yeah, it seems pretty farted.
But some
I'm
people are
coming
already
back
back
in.
in, so hooray.
All right.
Zanny's got a gun, yes!
Zanny's got the
Ooh, it's a good
gun.
one. Okay,
The
now I go
classic
to the
Aerosmith
server.
song.
What the hell?
What is the server name?
You can
Draggor's
search for
Little
Draggor
Hiss
and it should show up, but the actual title is Draggor's Little Hiss Den.
Love
There it is. Finally, I keep restarting Doomseeker and it just wasn't loading it.
Because it might not have had a chance to register, and I know the Doomseeker master server sometimes gets angry at a lot of people trying to refresh all at once. Can I not frag anyone? There, I
There we
fragged
go.
Fluff.
I'm in. Hello, baby.
Hey!
Hi.
Stop chasing me! Ah!
Hello, rival.
Hey, I'm a rival now. Oh, because I'm blue. I get it. I know how.
No, not you.
Oh, no, okay,
It's
gotcha.
Cyrus.
Gotcha. I thought you were
Yeah.
chasing me for a
It's a silly little banter I have with them because like when we were doing this Doom stuff with Draggor, like when Draggor first started them, every time, almost every match, it was always me and Cyrus like going for the top every time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I jokingly have say that Cyrus is my rival because of it.
Nice.
It's fun.
It just happened. Press F to rar. Xander rarred me in the butt.
That's how it works.
Actually, that was a drive-by raring.
Drive-by roaring. Rah, 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 rah. That's how it sounds. Rah, 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 rah. It's like, oh shit, there's Annie.
Whoops. Okay.
You gotta
There
get the
we
doppler shift
go.
right.
Yeah, so last week we had Fur. Today we've got
Woo.
Tonya.
Gotcha.
Next
Yes, you
week,
did.
I think,
Ooh.
is SemJ. I think. I don't have...
You just got quad damage meleeed.
Who?
Oh no.
Me?
Draggor, is there a population cap?
Yeah, you Dragger.
There shouldn't be. Is it happening
That is
again?
always the
It
worst
is.
feeling in Quake 3.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
All
I
right.
was out of ammo and had quad.
Gotcha, Cyrus.
I am gonna start another server and I'm gonna stop this one. So people can keep playing on there and I'm gonna host a classic one. I thought I had this figured out. I clearly did not.
Sweet dreams are made of yeans. I love
I
that name. I don't
know.
know who that is.
That's me.
Sweet dreams are made of beans. Always thinking about fucking beans.
Well, who has? Who is? Oh, they changed already. There was a really good one. Oh, Corinthian Leather Daddy.
That's me.
Yes.
Wow.
I was like, I gotta compete with that. So, yeah, that was real good.
I just killed someone named Fluff.
Oh yeah, Fluff.
Okay. So, I have hosted a new server. When this match ends, I will bring the server down. You will have to refresh, but wait to do it until the server's really registered.
Ooh.
Sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
That's weird. I must have conflicting
Things
configs going
happen.
on.
It's a free thing you do for us, so we can't really complain.
Oh no!
Oh.
Right, Draggor.
Ow.
It's weird. Like, it says 32 people can join, but the player limit is still artificially restricted, and I don't know why.
Gotcha.
Weird.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna quit
Because
this
COVID, they don't want
server.
that many people in.
Yeah.
Unlike
social
WrestleMania,
distancing.
we'll let everyone. Bring it back to wrestling.
Oh, always. Oh my gosh, it randomly put it on
Espe-
jumpy
okay.
bullshit.
I need to look more into that because wow,
Look into what?
I'm so dead.
just the. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
I'm so
More wrestling?
dead.
Oh yeah, just how like that the whole arena situation and like, what it has that stuff led to anything? I'm really curious.
Oh,
Like I know the Sturgis thing sure did. The Sturgis thing was a super spreader.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. That was
Ooh,
super
good job.
bad.
Yeah, that was
But I swear, like more
Judas in your
concert things
lungs.
have been bad.
Wasn't that
Judas,
your
did you
joke?
say Judas in my lungs?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I like it.
For those of you who don't know, Chris Jericho's rock band Fozzy performed at Sturgis because he's a douche canoe. Hey,
Yeah.
look, we brought it back again. We used douche canoe.
Hey, there you go.
All right, time limit hit. I'm bringing down the server. And the other server is up. I am in it. It is currently on the map we affectionately call Jumpy Bullshit, but with regular
Yeah.
weapons, not Instagib.
Hey,
Oh, we
Draggor,
already
you know
have Corinthian Leather Daddy in here.
Yeah, that's me.
That's wonderful. Draggor, you know
What
what
a name.
classic stupid movie I showed Alkali and Miko they'd never seen before?
What?
National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1.
Seriously?
Yeah, they'd never seen it.
Wow.
I showed the scene with Tim Curry and Whoopi Goldberg.
You know, I actually
Gotcha.
haven't seen that movie
What
in
the-
a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's
So
been
I'm
a
on the side
while.
of the map. I
No!
made it to the side of the map.
Thanks for following, Bright Fox.
Okay. Oh, you
Yeah,
can...
shotgunned in the air.
Nice job.
Let's go get some pew pew guns.
I had troubles getting in, so I don't know why I'm having issues.
You
Also-
are going to have to do a refresh on Doomseeker.
Thank you.
Also, Cyrus, it's so weird not seeing you play as the dust guy.
Well, I've actually been playing Ranger for a while. It's
yeah,
just on
because rockets.
Yeah, but I won't.
No, you don't, Chaos.
Alrighty.
No! Nice job.
Oh my gosh, I cannot frag anyone suddenly.
Yeah, because it's not friggin' Instagib for once.
Gotcha.
on
Oh
this
yeah,
map.
right.
I mean,
I'm so
you
used to
really
Instagram.
shouldn't brag about saying gotcha when I'm stationary shooting at someone across the map.
You
There,
were
there's
not
nothing. There's
stationary.
there's no effort there.
You were not stationary. You were in the air, buddy.
No.
Fake news.
I was
All right.
standing at the edge shooting at Jumbles who had a railgun all the way across the map.
Oh, these things
And
are
I got
nice,
them in
man.
revenge. I love this game too much. Whee!
Bye.
Uh-oh. wait, I'm coming back.
Bye, Cyrus.
Oh, well,
Oh,
okay.
it was fun.
Yeah, rockets.
Jumping platform didn't jump.
Uh-oh, Xander's roaring. Look out, Xander's
Rawr, rawr,
roaring.
rawr.
Oh no!
Oh,
Go away!
I'm mad.
Go
I
away.
gotta see what it looks like when I'm roaring.
We'll have to get a clip of it, or if someone
Yeah.
in
I'll
Twitch
just watch it. Yeah.
is able to
just
do
kind
it.
of. Yeah, you're
Nice.
just like suddenly not shooting anymore. And, you
No,
know,
no,
going
there
a
is
little
there is a
faster.
2-frame, maybe 3-frame animation.
Me roaring.
Oh yeah, there is.
There is a claw swiping that's going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's true.
Mine.
Whoa!
I need to make an animation of my Sona going F to R, all red-eyed.
There's supposed to be alternate fires because mine's not bound.
The alternate fire for most weapons is like this weird half zoom, where really, gosh darn it, we
Bugs.
high-fived.
Oh, what's the alternate fire?
Right click.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
definitely Unbound for me.
If you're using the package
Bye.
I gave out, it should be right-click.
Nice.
I think. I hope.
Cool.
It's hard to snipe when
love
you
it.
don't have Zoom.
It's so weird playing that on not Instagram.
Right?
It is.
It's such a different feel.
The funniest thing to me was back when I was 13, I joined a clan called NBK, and one of the most common things that they did every day was they had what was called an Instagram map on that map alone, but they also used a mod where shooting the ground with the railgun gives you a lift. So there was people just flying all over the place using railguns. It was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, corkscrew.
Oh, you know it. Good. Okay, I forgot the name.
This is the thing I want to play. Like, I have Open Arena downloaded. I have Corkscrew, whatever the good version is, ready to go. I just haven't... It takes effort to put together the bundle and have people on all sorts of different machines test it out, because I want it to be overall effortless to set up. And it is much harder to set up Open Arena than it is to set up Zandronum. At least what I've experimented with so far. If there's an easier way to do it, I haven't figured it out. But Corkscrew is... Not only can you do that, but Corkscrew can have railgun bounces as well.
Ha, yes.
So you do have to be careful with that, because if you have too many railgun bounces and enough players and a map that is not open air, aka too many hallways, you can make people's clients in the server go to a crawl because it's calculating too many bounce angles.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
That reminds me of the Serious Sam, where everything just froze and just calculating.
You know, I really should fire that up and do a reenactment of that just to see what my beefy modern computer can do.
If you remember the level, totally. Yeah.
I could figure it out. It was either Serious Sam 1 or Second Encounter.
Yeah.
Also, the
Yes.
amount of free arena shooters that exist is amazing to me, because there's Open Arena, there's Alien Arena, there's Zonatonic.
Oh,
Zonotic.
Zonotic. I'm bad at
Well,
announcing that one.
and Zonotic used to be Nexuiz, which all of it is based off of the Dark Places Quake 1 engine.
Yeah.
Nexuiz basically kind of got like bought out, or they licensed the name to a game company
They
to
did
try
to
to make
Ilphonic.
it a thing.
Yeah,
and it
they
came
released.
out, but
Yeah, they gave it to Ilphonic, who made a release, which I generally thought that they did a good job with it, but they gave it no more support afterwards. It sucks.
the issue I've always had with Zonotic, every time I fire it up and every time I've played a bunch of the genuine, like, from scratch open source, like, themed or content shooters, not just the engine, but, like, the content itself, is if you've played a lot of Doom and Quake, the feel is very tight, very fast, and very precise. And Zonotic feels just a little bit loose and a little bit plasticky in the wrong way. So, like, this game, you know, like Quake Champions Doom Edition, it, for the most part, feels like your weapons have impact. They sound good, the graphics and animations look good for the style they're going for. Even regular original Doom, the limited sound that it has, the Super Shotgun sounds like it does and should, and as you witness, takes you out if it's point blank in your face. Nexuiz, it kind of just feels like a cheap plastic toy. I don't know how else to describe it other than that's what's going on, and Xander is roaring.
I'm roaring.
But I roared Xander with 2 barrels from behind.
We should make
Well,
a mod
I mean-
for Doom and make all the
Must be a
sounds into
sneaker.
squeaky toys.
Yes!
Oh!
I know a bunch of rubber furs who would drop that.
Get someone to do the pixel art, and it's, you explode with jelly beans and rainbows. What game had Blood and Guts be flowers and rainbows as a mod? Was that Turok that first did it?
I think so.
Yeah, Turok. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I love the fact that Turok
grateful.
2's multiplayer got intact when they released the HD version on Steam. I never have got to play that game with a full lobby, and I want to do it at some point.
I would love
2?
to try that, except the one I really want. Turok 2 multi... Everyone...
Rage Wars.
Rage Wars. I want a modern, updated
Yeah.
Rage Wars. Especially
fucking amazing.
monkey tag or chicken tag.
Yes. I agree with you 100%. Rage Wars... Rage Wars is one of those games that I genuinely was so surprised on how fun it was.
Everyone's like,
Nice.
oh, yeah, N64 shooters. We did GoldenEye. That game sucks. I mean, if you like it, you like it. Fine. But
I
I come
remember-
from Doom.
Yeah. The cerebral bore and the sniper rifle were super fun, if I remember correctly.
Cerebral Bore is the most
so many
hilarious thing to get, and I
Yes.
love it so much.
So good.
Yeah.
Also horrifying.
Yeah, I would love Rage Wars. How many hours do you think we put into that, Draggor? So many hours.
I mean, that might be, other than, like, Smash Brothers is probably the only one that beats it out as far as a console game that I have put more time into.
Did you keep the cartridge?
Oh, I don't know.
I
I've
didn't.
I've got the expansion pack somewhere that's got my save data on it, assuming it's not
Wow.
dead.
Yeah, assuming.
But, like, you know,
We
What
could
did I
probably
uncover?
boot it up on an emulator and play online.
yeah, but it's still, the downside is, and how we are spoiled is, it was capped at 4 people.
Well, right.
Four
Did I
people?
just
Holy shit.
frag
Well,
after
yeah,
my death?
I mean, it's an N64 game. But I think there were bots in addition, at least, if I remember correctly.
No,
No?
four was the max. It was either 1 player, 3 bots, or 4 players, no bots.
It's been a while.
It's only Smash 4 and Ultimate that you can actually have more than 4.
Gotcha.
And yeah, like,
But yeah.
it had inventive I also liked that they did the loadout. They didn't, like, money lock or anything. It's just, pick your bullet weapon, pick your
Your energy weapon, and then
and
take
pick
your
your
explosive
weapon.
Yeah.
And you
And
picked
it
up
was
ammo boxes that
great.
will spawn on the box. You always start with ammo for the bullets. You have to find energy ammo and heavy ammo, as well
Could
as
you
trying
be
to
a
find
rapper
armor.
too?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
so
You
that's where
be
it
a
got
group of
pretty
mites.
degenerate, because the mites were the cheatiest of the characters. The mites in that game was Odd Job from...
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking odd job.
Okay, so what I found, thinking back about freaking GoldenEye, it wasn't even
Yeah.
Odd Job that was busted. It was your turn speed was so slow, so you could always just melee people to death because they couldn't follow you if you spun around them.
Yes.
There was a lot wrong with that game. I'm gonna go with the 5 frame
By the
rate.
way, speaking of GoldenEye, I have to ask this question to you, Draggor and Zanny.
Yeah.
You've heard of GoldenEye Source?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Because that
I
is
mean-
something I think that would be fun to do.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Rage Wars source.
I just...
Rage Wars.
I don't want to dwell too much on it, but my opinion in general is if you're doing any kind of deathmatch, don't ever do it on a Source Engine game. If you like Doom and Quake, the Source Engine will just piss you off.
Oh yeah, no, you've remember Deathmatch Classic, right?
I mean, I never particularly played Deathmatch Classic other than the couple of times I did and went, I don't like this.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
because like I got introduced to it because I picked up Half-Life Game of the Year edition, and when I typed in its CD key into my Steam account, it was like, oh, not only did you get Half-Life, now you have Opposing Force, Blue Shift, Ricochet, Team Fortress Classic, and Deathmatch Classic. I'm like, what's this?
Hmm.
And it's literally just Quake, but in Half-Life. It's funny.
Well, Half-Life, the original Half-Life, is a heavily modded Quake 1 Source Engine.
Yeah.
And there, like, that deathmatch, I just didn't particularly care for the weapons, but as far as network goes, it was not the bullshit that Half-Life 2 and such introduced.
Oh, man.
You're talking to someone that probably put in about, I don't know, let's call it 2,000 hours into Counter-Strike Source, and then maybe, like, another 500 into Left 4 Dead 2. So it's not like I didn't really play them. I played them a lot. I have a deep understanding for why I hate them.
Well, it sounds like
Throw
wow.
it.
Speaking of names I need to get right, you are Zargaz. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Trying it
Listen
out?
to Danny talk about all that. I figured I might as well just pull the trigger.
Sweet.
So yes, Meat Space brother is now Zargaz, who is the owner of the living actual animal named Jumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really used an online name.
Oh, I
to the
won!
degree
I won
that
my
you
one,
guys do.
Cyrus!
Congratulations.
You had the upgraded gun, I had the default.
Oh, wasn't even paying attention. I didn't know I was in the lead.
Really?
We were tied, but you killed me right then.
Nah.
love it.
SB Ruru. So I have experimented with a couple of Unreal Tournament weapon sets in Doom here, and unfortunately, they're mostly kind of lame. It's just better to play Unreal Tournament at that point. There's a couple of Turok weapon mods for Doom that I haven't really fired up. They never got
What
finalized.
happened?
Someone went and found the BFG.
And then
that
they
was
killed
me, and I
themselves.
instantly killed myself with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some negative potent splash. No, don't weapon switch, you damn game.
And that's why I've disabled that.
You know, I'm getting close.
Oh my.
I say that
SB Ruru's
every
like, which
week,
one
I'm
you got your
fairly
Unreal Tournament in my Doom?
I'm kind of sad I missed out on when you did the Unreal Tournament stuff, Draggor.
I will gladly do Unreal Tournament again if someone can help me figure out how to host a server that isn't fucking broken. Because what would happen is the admin window, the web server, would just stop. It would cease to work, and it got too frustrating to change levels or run the thing. So until that problem gets solved, I will not be hosting Unreal Tournament Classic anytime soon.
I sadly cannot help you there because I've been always trying to make servers for games, and every time I try to, it never works because I have to do a bunch of port forwarding stuff with my router, and I'm not allowed to touch the router because of my parents.
Oh, the port
So I
forwarding stuff
never-
I've got solved because I own everything in my spot. It's just the actual server itself sucks.
Oh
You
no!
got a
Jagger,
good
can you
new
guess
name.
what it was that made me play Unreal Tournament? That the one thing that made me take the leap?
The Scarge.
Yeah. Fuck
My
yeah.
original, I've always shared it, and I even uncovered some old pictures, so I should post them. The original, like, full-body spandex lizard costume I had a set of armor made with it with the Unreal logo. I was originally a Scarge hybrid, but the armor was rubbing the paint off of the suit, so I ditched it, and I never got it remade.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
forgot
why
about
the
that.
lizard has that stubby little waggly tail in back, because the Scarge hybrids had less of a tail.
Yeah, they had a little tail. It was so cute.
Well, the full Scarge in Unreal, like regular Unreal, had bigger tails. And they had kind of like, I got Rard in the face. They also had kind of like, they looked like a cross between lizards and predators. Because they kind of had the predator dreads, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
probably
I
would've liked
almost
Scarge
threaded the
more than
needle.
Scarge hybrid.
Nope.
I just like the little tails.
So Scarge Hybrid didn't even come out originally with Unreal Tournament. They didn't show up until like expansion pack 3 or 4.
The return of however you pronounce the damn name.
I
That
didn't
was
even
before I found
track
Furry,
any of
too.
the
Holy
names.
shit.
It was just 3 or 4 where it showed up.
That's a good question. Oh fuck. When did you find furry, Dragger? Like, what year? Like, we're not gonna.
I found
interrogate.
furry around year 2000.
Okay.
Stop it.
I was 1999 or 2000. I was like 13 or
99
14
for me,
years
yeah.
old. I had already figured out how to look up porn on the internet, and I had figured out that, like, wait a minute, people draw Piccolo
You can't kill me.
with a dick? hell yeah. And
It's
so
a
then, naturally, the people that draw Piccolo with the dick also draw furries.
Uh-huh.
So, also,
What?
at the time, one of the most popular animated things you could find online that was porn-related, if you were an American and had a limited interaction with anime, you knew of two things. You knew of Dragon Ball Z, and you
Yep.
knew of Sailor Moon.
So
And
true.
so there was a thing called Dragon Moon X, which was like they wrote dialogue and had stuff. It was so silly and over the top and stupid and
Yeah.
awful.
In
but
96,
that-
yeah, literally
yeah.
Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon was all you ever heard about.
So there
That
was
was
a
a good
site
blind
that
hit.
hosted a bunch of
I didn't
artists,
think I would kill you like 2 shots off with the BFG.
and one of the artists
Pitiful.
that drew Dragon Ball Z stuff was at the same site that New Dog drew furry stuff.
Ah.
And that is my, that's my dick tracing that sourced me to furry. It's not
That's
contact
hysterically.
tracing, it's dick tracing.
Dick tracing. Dick tracing. It's like Dick Tracy.
Yeah, except no Al Pacino in my porn, please.
No, for me, I was in art and everything. Hey, I really like anthropomorphic art, and I would just say that. And then I finally like Googled it or Yahoo searched at the time,
Or hot.
and I found Yahoo groups, and I found anthropomorphic art of very interesting. Yes. So
I still found it funny how I knew of stuff with anthropomorphic art and everything like that for years.
mhm.
I never knew it had a fandom until
Right.
I was 14.
Exactly.
Because the story that I always like to give, and it's the one that, to me, feels true. To me. I don't care how many people will try to argue with me.
Mhm.
But I remember that when I was 9, when I went to bed, I thought that I was sleeping, but I could clearly tell that I wasn't.
Mhm.
And you know the Matrix white room where there's like nothing but they can make things appear?
Sure.
I was like seeing that, and I was walking around like in nothing until at one point I turned around and I saw this blue dragon in like a space outfit, but with a mixture of like, I don't know how to describe it anymore. It's been a while.
It's been a
With
while.
like
God damn it.
with like markings on him.
Nice.
And he said that, he crash landed on Earth because of a space battle far away, and this was the only way he could escape. But his body was so badly damaged that he had to eject his soul, and I was the closest vessel that he could attach to.
Gotcha.
And for years, I saw that person, and people would say, "Oh, that was an imaginary friend." Don't care. To me, it was real. It was not the same. Years
You don't-
later, on the same time frame, I was back in the dream where the person said that their soul life force was losing, and they needed to merge with me to stay alive. And when I woke up, I clearly saw myself as a dragon until it changed back. And since then, that's how I always felt. And then years later, I found a bunch of other people with personas and things like that. I'm like, oh, furry fandom. Okay. And that's how it went. That was it.
Gotcha.
Like, again, I know people think it's, whatever, but I still think it was real, and I'll leave it at that.
Someone in the chat saying Animorphs. I was always aware of the books. I never particularly read them, but I was aware of them.
That was past my time too.
I think I read one of them.
It's
Yeah.
really,
I
it's
think
really
they were
fun.
good books.
I think what's really funny to me is how people remember Animorphs, but if you've never actually read them, you don't know what the story is. Because one of my favorite things was when the actual author said, "There's nothing happy about this. If you think it's happy, you've never read the books."
That's funny.
Because apparently-
Oh yeah,
'cause
because the overarching story was like alien bullshit and like
I was
Yeah, there
told
was
it gets
nothing happy going
depressing
on.
about war and children and stuff.
yes,
Didn't
yeah, they were
also
like
do
child soldiers and
Form
shit.
of interest?
Yeah.
I wish y'all knew how fucking huge Turtles was in the late 80s.
I was just old enough. The original, even at the same time of Doom going crazy, I was big Turtles.
Yeah, so I was like into fucking furries, and my friends were. So it was weird.
That was
They had
a
really
very
good video
fancy
game.
dodge, by the way.
What's up?
Oh,
Turtle.
I was in a skirmish, and then I went to do my BFG, and at the last second, dodging behind the goddamn wall happened.
Sorry, guys. What were you saying?
The Turtles Brawler games on NES and Super NES were great video
And
games.
Turtles in Time.
arcades.
Yep, Turtles in Time
First beat 'em
and
up? Hell yeah! Like,
yeah.
I mean, those were quarter munchers.
Dude, I
Good
love the
games,
fact.
though.
I love the fact that Turtles in Time was like the SNES version was wildly different to the original arcade release, and
They
that
did
was
change it up a little, right?
It was good.
they changed a lot of the levels in the later half. Like the Big Apple 3 a.m. level is still there, but some later ones were changed for the NES version for some reason, and I never looked into why.
My
And-
old company. Oh, go ahead. You go.
Because like I grew up on the SNES version for so long, I never played the arcade version. So when I heard there's a Xbox
Yes!
Live there's an Xbox Live
You
arcade
took it.
release of Turtles in Time, all HD and animated. It's like, oh, I can't wait to buy this, and I bought it, and then I started noticing this is not the same.
Oh, who said macro turtles? Jake Bunny. Oh, hey, Jake. Has
Jake.
Ion Fury and Warlock. I know Ion Fury has some drama around it, but it looks good.
I would still say
Warlock,
play-
I don't. There's so many things I am not up to date with. The one I chose to buy was early, and it's finally in early access. It has just come out. No multiplayer that I'm aware of. Is Proteus with a D.
Yes.
Proteus is basically, what if you kept your hardware requirements low, but wanted to make a Doom 2016 style game? But, you know, not like the route that Brutal Doom took. And
Yeah.
their map editor and like just their overall mod editing tools is getting first-class citizen stuff. There's already a bunch of community things made, but it's all single-player focused right now. The real test will be multiplayer. I think multiplayer's in the cards, I hope.
Yeah.
Because like the feel of it as a the last thing I'll say on Proteus in particular is it is a Unity engine game and it doesn't feel like it. They finally figured out how to do a first-person Unity engine, kind of like how every Source engine game you still can kind of tell it's a Source engine game, and that's a bad thing. This one doesn't feel like a Unity engine game, and that's awesome.
That's funny.
Hey, Dragger.
Yes.
If you ever want information on a list of like games trying to emulate old stuff, let me know because I have a good list of stuff that's been out since then. It's great.
Well, apparently now everyone has gone and tagged all of them in Steam as boomer shooters.
Oh God, I did not realize that's an actual genre that they called it. No.
Yeah.
Which
It's funny
again,
to
I
me
say
because like
it's more
it
Gen
should be
Xers than it is boomers.
Gen X exactly, 100%.
But boomer shooter is pleasing to the face hole to say, so oh well.
You can't really just say the last generation that got jobs out of college. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Damn it, Xander!
What?
I love it.
It's
I
true.
love playing
Because
with
you're
all of
right. That's why. Fuck you
I
with that
love
armor.
I love playing with all of you. I love this. This is the greatest Sunday.
Oh no, that's a quad damage.
Yeah, it is. Get back here. Die. Yeah.
My God, when my brother fucking graduated, they would like hire anyone who could fog a fucking mirror in the late 90s. It was insane. Anyway.
Oh
Yeah.
my glove.
There was this video that I saw where this person is like walks in and he goes, "Hi, I would like a job." They look at the paper and they go, "Okay, you're hired." And then it says the current day. It goes, "Hi, I would like a job. Do you have 2 years of experience with this program? The program's only been out for like 5 months, but do you have 2 years of experience?"
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
What's the one that we want to see more? Do you have an experience? Well, hopefully you get more here, and then they hire him. It's like that's how it should be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no company is willing to put resources into training anyone, and it's just maddening. Thankfully, at my day job, I'm now on the hiring team again, and I got to at least
Ooh,
got
I
them
got
to
ya.
stop asking certain
I got you, though.
stupid questions.
Yeah, but I got you. I win.
So I'm doing my little part to make this bullshit capitalism a little bit better for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then there was another one where I'm like, all right, well, what's the salary range for this job? And they're like, well, we're not sharing that with every employee. And I'm like, great, you just said that it's lower than what your requirements are, so how about you ease up the requirements? And then they did.
Nice. Yeah, when you understand corporate speak and you know how to avoid that, it's great.
Yeah.
Or like another one of them that's very common, and so if you're ever interviewing, one of the things you can do, and if the place is worth it, they won't take this as a negative for you asking it. But if you ever encounter a question that's essentially about work culture, don't answer the question. Just go, it sounds like you want me to know what your work culture is. How about you tell me, and I'll tell you if that works for me or not.
Hmm.
You know, phrase it however you like, but a lot of work culture questions, people think they're going to get an insightful answer when they don't realize the other person's just going to give whatever answer you want to hear. And
Oh, yeah,
that's the art of the
100%.
interview right there, is say whatever it takes. Don't be honest. Honesty doesn't get you jobs. Honesty gets you fired.
Yeah.
No. I don't know if I've ever told you this, Draggor. Yeah, when I was in Indiana, at the time I was living with a boyfriend, but they're an ex now.
Mhm.
I got hired at a Kroger, which I hope that's a common name for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Also
And-
Mariano's.
And you know, when they hired me to be one of the people who, you know, stocks the shelves and stuff.
Mhm.
And this would have been my fourth job that I've had at that time. And I've never done that before, and I was nervous because me being autistic. But I was like, you know, let's give it a try and see what happens. Maybe I'll excel in it. You never know. But they started pushing, oh, we want you to like clear 18 boxes an hour. They want you to go really, really fast and everything like that. But it was really hard for me to get the motors right. And there was a situation where a manager wanted me to clear this pallet full of like pickles and cans and all this like very heavy items that were all in wildly different aisles in like 30 minutes. And it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get it done. And he was upset with me. And I was really scared that I was going to get fired for not doing good performance. So I talked to my manager and I asked them, is it possible that I could switch my position to be something that I've done before, which is called a courtesy clerk. We get the grocery carts outside, we bag the groceries for the cashiers, so on and so forth. And the person's like, well, we don't really need that position. We need this thing, but are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm worried of being let go because I can't handle the job. They're like, okay, well, your pay will be dropped from 9 to 7 and this and that. I'm like, yep, no, that's fine. I go to work the next day. I do my shift as a courtesy clerk. Then I go home, do Thanksgiving, come to work the next day. I clock in, and the guy calls me in their office, and they fire me.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's exact. It's one of those where, in general,
Woo!
there are always exceptions to this, but just in observation and having lived it, in most jobs, if you are surprised you are getting let go, then you haven't learned to notice the warning signs. And it might not have anything to do with you as an individual or as performance. It might be completely out of your control. But if you're like, lick your finger and put it in the air, there's always a little bit of a current. There's always a little bit of wind blowing where you can tell something's gonna happen.
Yeah, it was like when I was dealing with my eye surgery bullshit.
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
almost like, we can't tell you that we don't want you to take time off for your eyes, but we're not gonna. And it was just all this weird, like, tiptoeing bullshit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
there are many warning signs
Mhm.
that, and like if you don't know to look for them or you've never experienced it before, like it's very abstract and hard to tell. It really is. Thanks, Cyrus.
Yeah.
I've got your gun now because I respawned right on your
Yeah.
corpse.
You can thank Gray for that.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And sometimes it's just a luck of the dice. I mean, like, one time I got laid off, it was just because we finished a project. Oh, perfect. Gone. Like we can just cut everyone here and not have to worry about the ramp up and all that kind of stuff.
And like
Ooh.
stories like that is the reason why all of
Well, I mean,
my
I got you anyway, but still, damn it, I can't believe you weaved that.
Losing my what now?
but stories like that is kind of the reason why all of my like passions and things that I wanted to do died. Was because everything that I wanted to do, it was like, yeah, no.
Oh no, I got
It's
Rard.
impossible to ever get hired in these positions. It's always you're contracted for 6 months to do this, and your contract might be terminated like in the middle of it because they might go, well, we found someone cheaper or something like that.
Oh yeah, I
So-
was.
If any
Yeah.
of this is maddening to any of you and want to look for a place where not only we discuss these things regularly and also
Yes.
try to propose systemic solutions or research into existing solutions in progress and want to support them, check out myself, Xander, and Pepper Coyote on Last Minute Politics. You can go to
Yeah.
lastminutepolitics.com and you will
Yeah, I
see
listened to that.
all of the places where you can find our little podcast and the recordings we do and things like Socialist Movie Night. Huzzah, Xander! I did the cross-promotional shilling!
Yeah.
Hooray!
Well, it's just like all those things we watch where the Big Show and Cody does a stupid flip with the fireworks. You're like, why are we watching this? Oh, this is what normal people watch.
Dragger, at some point, I got something I want to tell you, but I can't
Yeah.
say it in voice. I'll have to send it to you through Telegram.
Oh.
Dragger, real quick. I do. It's funny. Me and Dragger watch wrestling, but we sometimes pay attention to ratings of different companies going against each other. But then there's the Masked Singer that makes like 10 times the audience. You're like, oh my god.
Hey,
Dude.
we can't infiltrate Furry, but gosh, we can steal it and do it.
Right? Oh.
I find it so amazing that that reality show has taken off as it has, because
Right?
I don't care for reality shows anymore. I don't. Ever since I've learned the secret outings of it, it's hard for me to not be like, this is probably staged.
Well, people
but
like to
Masked
see.
Singer is about already
Oh, I know.
famous people. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
it's different.
It's like, hey, that famous person, they can sing too, and you didn't know what?
The whole thing is about attention economy and star power.
Relatability thing too.
Oh,
don't
a
know.
what?
A relatability thing too, because everyone has that. Oh, I want to sing too, kind of thing.
No, I
Karaoke
would
is
say
very
it's the
relatable.
opposite of it. If you can't do all of these things and do all of them exceptionally well, that just means you're supposed to be a consumer.
Ah, it's so true.
I will say, even though I don't watch the show live or openly or anything like that, I will say probably one of the greatest things that I ever saw was when one of the episodes was airing. And you know how sometimes Twitter will try to like will show what's currently trending or whatever?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I try to ignore that.
And I looked over and I saw two things that were trending. Masked Singer and the term no auto-tune. And I was like, what? And I clicked on it. It was because people discovered that one of the people that were singing was T-Pain. And everyone's like, what? T-Pain can sing? I thought he can't. That's why he auto-tunes. And everyone's like, no, he does that because it's just a motif for his music. He literally can sing.
And yet, that's why I know who T-Pain is, because he had that fucking distinguishing thing. Everyone uses stupid attention-grabbing tricks like that.
All right,
It's funny.
so here's one. Who is the artist that is technically credited with widely popularizing autotune as an artistic intentional choice?
Are you asking us?
Do any of
which
you
one
know?
it is?
No.
It is
I was going to say
Cher.
Kanye, but that was later.
Yeah, I was thinking of Cher. I just
Cher.
didn't say
What is
God.
it?
Oh, Cher,
Do you
believe
believe in
that.
Believe in life
That
after love.
was huge.
There was a whole little documentary about like autotune and the creation of that song and Cher's involvement with it. So then, if you're a metal
makes
nerd
sense.
like I am, because autotune, it was invented sometime, I think it was invented in the 90s. But
That was great. I'm sorry, Dragger.
Yeah.
oh, I didn't even have my crosshairs on you. It was terrible.
No, I pre-fired the first shot, then I hit direct shot the second and killed you.
Nice.
But there is a live album by the biggest metal band in the world, and they have not once admitted to auto-tune, but holy shit, you can hear it.
What, Maiden?
Metallica.
Ah,
S&M.
Oh, I believe it.
James Hetfield is so fucking auto-tuned, and I love that album. I unabashedly
one?
love
It is a
that
good
album.
album.
What?
Which one?
it's the one
Which
where they
one
play
has
with the
auto-tune?
symphony.
S&M, the first one.
Oh, okay.
So, like, it was always a bit of an open secret that all of Metallica's live albums have tweaking or overdubs or all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
Because they're weird, controlling perfectionists, and the idea of anyone hearing a flaw from them at that time was not allowed. They have since eased up.
That's good.
But at the time, like, I couldn't tell you as a kid. So, like, that album comes out in 1999. So I am 13 years old hearing this and getting into metal for the first time. And I can't, in any of the stuff I go and listen to, Dream Theater, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, any of these metal groups that also have excellent, like, operatic-style singers, none of them have this thing that's going on in S&M. And I find out years later, like, holy shit, James Hetfield is fucking auto-tuned.
See, the thing the thing that sucks for me is I love music and production and everything. I still cannot tell if someone is auto-tuned or not, because I remember watching, I hate it, but I remember watching the Beauty and the Beast remake, and everyone around me was like, oh my god, Emma Stone is so auto-tuned, and I just never noticed it.
I'll be back.
So there is, like, auto-tune is a tool more than anything else. It does not inherently mean bad, but in absence of, you know, practiced ability or what have you, or, you know, you're just having that bad of a day, because, you know, you could plan all you want for this special live show to be recorded, and life can happen to you and your voice might not want to cooperate. So, like, as a tool to make sure that your audience to some degree is getting what they pay for, fine, do it. If that's what you gotta, or is like as a backup, great. But using it as a crutch, on the other hand, that is when it is most noticeable. There are a lot of, especially in I was just talking with Pepper about this the other day. I was asking him, like, all right, this band, Moron Police. I'm very into him. I just introduced him to Xander and Alkali. Pepper loves them. They're very, very, very precise on this new album. So I'm like, all right, you know about this shit. Are they actually, like, did they practice for 6 weeks before recording this? Or is this a lot of studio magic going on? And Pepper's like, unless they tell you in, you know, we're in the 2020s, studio magic can be so good that it really, really, really is hard to tell if they're doing that alongside people that put in effort. And, like, to me, that's kind of the point. You know, these things are tools, and if you have a vision that you want to create and not have it, you know, have some artificial thing sounding there, like you don't want that to be part of the art statement, great. But then there's always that mismatch of how does it sound live? And the band Xander and I like dearly, Blind Guardian, they rework all of their stuff for live. Because if they were to redo what they do on album live, they would have 50 fucking people on stage at any given instant, or they would literally have to clone their singer about 50 times because Hansi loves doing his own personal chorus of 50 overdubs. Because when you're singing about Dungeons and Dragons, you want 50 Hansis being your backup.
You do want an army of Hansies. I still want to hear Devin do D&D. Just, I want to hear Devin do power metal.
Right?
Why not? Yes.
Hey, Draggor, since we're on basically the topic of music and things like that, I want to ask this question that I was asking people before. Have you ever had a band that you love so much ever release an album so disappointing for you?
Oh,
all the time.
Yes.
But whatever.
I
It wasn't
had that-
even like I
I can think of
completely
something off the top
adore
of
the
my head.
band, but Incubus. So I don't like
yes!
most.
I remember this.
I don't like most of Incubus's stuff. I'm not gonna say if it's good or bad. It just doesn't work for me. But then they released their album "A Crow Left of the Murder," which is one of my all-time favorite albums. I
those
have
that don't know,
most
I
of
have
it still
Megalomania.
memorized to this day.
Yeah.
And the album that came after, Light Grenades, is okay. And then they went on hiatus. And then they came back. And they came back a couple of years later and put out an album. And it sounded like fucking soft rock, easy listening butt rock. I hated it. I'm like, oh no, they got old.
That's like for me. I grew up with the Offspring, and the later they got, I was like, oh, I just not feeling anymore. I love y'all growing up, but it's just not there anymore for me.
Or how about
Americana is one of
U2?
the best albums.
I never was into U2 all that much, to be fair. I liked Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. That's
How
about
to
it.
dismantle an atomic bomb? The uno, dos, tres, catorce.
40?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 14.
Oh, it's 14. That's right.
But
I failed Spanish.
like the reason I bring it, I always like to bring up that question was literally because 2 months ago, a group that I love released an album out of nowhere because I wasn't my fault for not paying attention, but I didn't see anything on their Facebook page talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
They released an album, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I love this band. I can't wait to hear it." I listened to the first song, and I immediately went, "What? What is this?" Because its production is so awful.
Oh no.
And the group is called A Day to Remember.
Well, you remembered it.
and the thing that bothers me.
Smartass. Xander, damn it. Fuck.
And the thing that bothers me so much was I found an interview where they talked about making the album. Here's the thing that I found out. Apparently, this album was supposed to be released in 2019, but then it got delayed with no explanation, still to this day. Then COVID happened, and then there was no information about what was going to happen. I also learned that the reason it was delayed was also because they had no songs or an album cover made. It was supposed to be released in 4 weeks, so that's why it was delayed. That pissed off their label.
Well,
And then again, COVID happened. But not only that, then I heard an interview where he said the line that I hate hearing because every time I hear this, the band dies in my head. And it's when they go, "Oh, we want to take all of the music trends of the times and make a mixture of our sound and the current sound." Stop. That's how Maroon 5 died. That's how, in my opinion, I know people disagree with me, that's how I think Fall Out Boy died. Like, no, just stick to your sound, stick to your music. If you want to experiment, go for it. But don't say, we're going to take the modern sound and stop.
I'm going to give the exact antithesis to that and the Doom 2016 soundtrack. Mick Gordon's brilliance as he went, well, I'm going to mix metal with all this dubstep shit and created one of the greatest gent albums to have ever landed.
Nice.
It's not that you can't do it. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Or They Might Be Giants. They're
God.
constantly working in new and modern stuff into their songs, and they're almost
hard for
always
me-
good.
Yeah, it's hard for me to always fault an artist for being like,
I was gonna
that,
say, Xander,
you know, like-
I've been around you. It ain't that hard.
Heyo.
But
Easy to fart an artist.
Tonya!
Hey, Tonya.
Hello, our guest is here. Coincidentally
Hooray.
enough, we were talking about music things, so let
We
us
were.
transition over to the live channel, and
Have
we
fun.
will play Doom with our special guest Tonya and get this chatter underway. Thank you all to the rest of the group. This was inverted. Usually we do the interview section first, and then it's open play, hangout, and goofing off. So apologies for just abruptly cutting all of that short. It is time to
That's
go to the planned portion of the show. So Tonya, I'm gonna move us over.
I see y'all.
Bye, Draggor.
Zandy, if you wanted to be here, I know it's been an hour, so if you're taking off, that is also fine.
Stick around. Thanks for. Yeah, I'll stick around.
Awesome. Welcome, Tonya. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Chat, how is
Yes.
Tonya sounding? Tonya, say, just keep talking for a bit, and I'm going to adjust audio.
Okay, I'm glad to be here. I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope I am talking long enough. For
Perfect.
to
You talked
adjust the
just
sound.
enough for me to check the meters.
Okay.
Thank you. Tonya, you know damn well what I just did.
Yeah, I kind of do that for works too. So, I understand.
So, because I'm curious, if you don't mind me asking, if you do not want to talk about this, that is absolutely fine. But like, what specifically? You were setting up an event and doing some audio. So, what does that actually entail?
I don't. So I'll talk about it. I don't usually like to talk about my work only.
Oh,
'Cause,
we can completely
I'm
skip
secret.
that and
But-
ignore the
but-
fact that I
yeah.
even
but I
asked
can-
it.
But I kind of already said it. I said it, not you. That like yeah, I do like. I do sound and I do music and I sometimes do live sound. I'm kind of like not the boss, but like I'm kind of just like one of the assistants. But I also have a job where I schedule and book venues, and it's like I'm a sort of agency.
Nice.
And this is not my full. That's not what I do full time. I kind of do that a little bit. I do music a little bit, and I do some. I have done in the past, not since the pandemic, but I have done also work in Native communities.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very cool.
If you're comfortable going there, one of the things I do want to ask about is work in the communities. Other topics that I wanted to bring up, I embedded in the blog post. You tweeted out your latest song that went out, and so that SoundCloud embed is on there. So if anyone went to the
Okay, good.
website,
SoundCloud or Bandcamp?
you know, it's not in front of me, so I don't immediately remember.
I don't remember either.
But all right, so to anyone listening or listening to this recording, if you go to draggor.me, the as of right now latest blog post is the Tonya post, and in there is a link to your Twitter, SoundCloud, Bandcamp. I basically went and found everything you had linked and put links to all of that in there because I didn't know
Okay,
which
I
one you had
see.
preference for.
Oh, you did put the Bandcamp. Yeah, I wanted you to put the Bandcamp because that's the full song, and the SoundCloud only has a preview.
Okay.
So you put the one I wanted you to put up, which is great.
Huzzah! Accidental success! It's been a rough week.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so in recording that, I guess my question is, like, the most I've done for recording is podcast style stuff, or, you know, occasionally, you know, Pepper or Benny or other people, they've asked, like, hey, if you can sing close enough along to this chorus, I'll mix it in. So I don't really know much about song recording or what goes into it. What is that for you like these days? Like, what's the setup? Assuming you already know, you know, what the song is, like you have the song written, how long does it take on average to record something like that and actually have the finished product ready to go?
Well, it really depends on what's going on in my life, because I'm doing these multiple jobs, and sometimes I do travel both for my own enjoyment and for work-related reasons. I don't have a consistent schedule when it comes to recording, so it could take me a very short amount, or it could take me a long amount. There's no really consistent time where a song takes me. And sometimes the ideas for a song don't all come at once. Like a partial amount of the song comes in and not the rest of it. And sometimes the entire song just comes up really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess like the only amount of understanding I have to that is for like any of the hosting stuff at conventions, or when I do write anything, you know, I've got my notes of here's a funny line, here's a punchline, here's a topic, and once in a while, oh hey, a whole bit happened. Great, I don't have to work on this. It's in my head. I'm done.
Oh, isn't that the best?
I count it lucky every time that it just happens.
It does. But sometimes you got to rework everything. It doesn't work at all, and you got to dump it.
Well,
The
yeah,
creative
you know, when it
process.
comes to, you know, putting it to paper or putting it in front of an audience, you go, oh no. Is there any like
Oh, no.
equivalent to like that when you're working through a song, like where you, I don't want to presume and say. I'm assuming you hear stuff in your head.
You could say that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like rewind my brain, so to speak, and figure out how did I do like the last few songs?
Or if you don't
I
want to talk
think-
about like the
I
last
think-
few, if there's a notable one.
I'm thinking about my last song, which I haven't released yet. It's a song called "Brother Sunset," and I haven't quite. I'm not done with it. But what I realize is I think I have a set of topics that I want to write a song about. Things that are like on my mind, and that I need to. That sometimes just writing an essay or a Twitter thread doesn't get it across. And it's more emotional than factual, and I find it very effective to put it in song form. And somehow in song form it's more concise, so you have to try and squeeze in more of what you want to say into a smaller amount of text, a length, so to speak. And yet, I feel that with songs, I can convey something much, much stronger.
Yeah.
And
It's funny, Tonya. That's kind of why I started drawing when I couldn't convey what I wanted with words. You kind of figure it out, or, oh wait, maybe I can convey it this way. Here, look at this. You know, or listen, more so.
Yeah, and with the song I wrote there, "Profound Encounter," which is if anyone's heard it, it's a song I wrote about my experience as a trans person, a trans woman. But it could be for any trans person. I didn't specify what the gender was. I wanted to write just like what the experience of that is, and what we feel as trans people, as like, and just like wanting to exist. And I walked in with that idea before the music came along, and the music came along. I think I was practicing some other stuff that I needed to learn, and it was during that time that I came up with that. It's a piano, vocal, and flute piece. And as I was practicing, that's when an idea came to me, and that's how this song came about. So they all like are sort of inspired by different things and started by different things, but usually for me, a song starts out with, I want to say something to the world that I feel the world is not hearing. I want to write a song about it.
Nice. It's interesting, you know, what you just said as like part of the song coming to you while you were practicing on something else. I always liked reading Roger Ebert reviews, especially after his whole ordeal with, you know, the cancer and the surgeries, and he lost the ability to speak. So like his primary medium of communicating changed. And in commenting about writing, he said, it's like, you can't wait for inspiration. Inspiration comes when you're already doing like the technical aspects of the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I'm a coder, and I'm certainly not going to say all code is art or anything, but I feel like there's a creative problem-solving aspect to it, and the best stuff I've ever made is when I'm sitting down, not even intending to do something interesting, but my hands are on the keys doing that thing already. And then the ideas show up.
Interesting. Yeah, you can
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, sometimes you can just, like, by the process, like, by just the virtue of the process, you can spur those ideas along. Sometimes you just got to write that shit down, or else you're going to forget it forever.
So Tonya, I've had this happen to me. Have you had any, especially just for like the musical notes part of things, dream inspiration where like you've heard a tune and you woke up and were able to record at least like a melody or a riff or something?
Yes, and it's in those times that I usually call on a friend. So I write it down when I have something out of a dream. I have a friend named Runt. You might know him.
I do.
You might have heard of him. Runt has an incredible knowledge of like just music history. And so I'll go to him and say, Runt, does this sound like anything you know? Because sometimes I just have this feeling like if I dream something, it's because I heard it somewhere. and it just like surfaced into my psyche. So, and I'm a little unnerved by the idea of just like writing this song, and it's like, what if this song already exists? And most of the time it doesn't. And I did talk to, I think every single time I've talked to Runt, it was just like, no, it's nothing I've ever heard. And if Runt hasn't heard of it, then wow, it probably doesn't exist, because Runt has an incredible library in his brain of music. He's just heard everything.
He's got the mind palace of music.
I did one time write a piece that was way too similar to something that ended up already existing, and that I had to like I actually did have to scrap it.
Aww.
Because it was like, no, this is by like two notes off, it's basically this piece. So it was fun. I wasn't too attached to it, but it was just it was
one of the artists Xander and I particularly like, Devin Townsend. I have to imagine he did that, but then went and got the rights for the song. So
maybe
because it's not a cover. Oh my gosh, Devin Townsend on Sky Blue, and the song was he had to get the rights for "You Spin Me Right Round." Because like the main portion of that song is part of like the main motif of the song, but it's a couple of notes different. And if you look in the album credits, like he went and got, like you hear it and you go, did he rip that off? And then you go look and you're like, well, it's credited to the source material.
Jesus.
So I don't know like if he set out to remix or if he put the thing together and went, fuck, this is a song already.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do in that situation.
The internet has ruined that song for me forever. So,
so I don't know if I should mention this. This is a little bit unfortunate, but I can't get back into the game. I was in the game earlier, and so let me just explain what's happening. I hope it doesn't I don't want to take too much of the interview doing this, but basically, it's giving me actually, I'm just going to screen cap it and send it to you because
do that.
Technology.
And
is
what you might
wonderful.
have to do, because I did have to switch servers here, is you might have to refresh Doom Seeker, and then the server that's listed there, click it. It does not auto refresh, and sometimes it does aggressive caching. So it might not. Your individual Doom Seeker might not.
Okay, I'm refreshing now.
I forgot to tell you that. My bad as a host. Sorry about that.
I'm pretty sure this is gonna work now because it looks different already. Yep, that's it. All right, I'm in.
Yay!
Hooray.
Also, hello, Beaten in the channel, Dottie Cindergraph, Bryfox. Who else do we
Join
have that's
game.
shown up? It is changing
Can I
levels
see
right
that?
now, so it might be like a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of seconds.
it's not responding, so I'm gonna wait for it.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Yay! You're in. Huzzah!
Press spacebar to join.
And yeah, you can do WASD to move the cursor. If you ever want to change your character class, you can press H, I think, and it'll bring up the menu, and then you can reselect.
Okay.
Did I just? Oh my gosh! All right, I'm gonna not brutalize you. Oh my gosh!
You didn't know it was me. It's okay.
Like
funny.
technically, the name shows up at the bottom, and I went and looked right as I got the frag. I'm like, oh no.
nah.
Oh, I have to get used to aiming. But yeah.
Taya just fragged
I'm glad
me.
I'm glad we finally got this working. Yeah, I'm just gonna my technique is I don't know how to play this game. I haven't played this game much, so I'm just gonna shoot anything that moves.
Yes, that really is the core of it. I think I asked, but I didn't ask which ones. You have played a first-person shooter before?
Yeah, I played GoldenEye fairly extensively, but
Yeah,
But that's,
definitely.
uh,
No,
about that,
don't
too.
you rar me, Xander. Bad.
Why not? Good
If
for
you
you.
hear us, if you see the big lizard-looking thing and it looks like it is moving quickly and blurry and swiping a claw at you, Xander is in RAR mode, and you will get fragged if Zandy gets up
Yes.
to you for that.
I press after R. Yeah.
that's how you aim. Shoot.
Hello,
Yeah, this is
Ocean. Yes, lock and load.
Awesome
That's right.
sauce. All right. So what were we talking about before I interrupted the-
Music and recording stuff, a thing you were working on that's not released yet, and you mentioned you check in with Runt because they have a
it's
musical
really
library
awesome.
in their head.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Oh wow! I finally killed something.
Ooh. I want a
did.
pedestal.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Oh,
Yeah, this is the only context where you can say things like that, and it's meant in good-natured fun, sincerely.
Quaxum just killed me.
Wow, man, it spawned me in a really bad position, and somehow I haven't died yet. It's too late.
Yeah.
Draggor, help me out. For once and for all, is it Quaxum or Cuxum? I always forget.
Quaxum.
Quaxum, got it. Okay.
We just want to say Cuxum because that's what we said first. And
maybe
because-
that's it.
It's not just because that. It's because you didn't know how to pronounce the name, and you were doing the Drag show reading off the names with a little quip, and you're like, how do I pronounce this? Quaxum damn near killed him. And it's a brain worm.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Or
Yeah.
Cuxum damn near killed him. But it
I
still works.
did.
Quaxum damn near killed him as well.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. On the next Drag It show, you have to say it, but with the correct pronunciation, but with the joke, and then you will say the name correct there on out.
I'll just try not. Yes. I'll remember.
Tonya, the group of us are all going through various stages of name changes, pronouns, which pronouns are okay, which ones no longer aren't. And we're all
Bunch of-
rather, as far as like us as individuals, so for Zanny and I in particular, like being on the receiving end of that, it's very new for us.
Yes.
So, in particular, the timing of that song you've released, I very much... I mean,
Yeah, I gave it a quick retweet.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it in that regard.
Well, I guess let's talk about conventions and how we kind of, how I don't remember when I first met you or like we got to talk after a show. Was that BLFC like a couple of years ago?
Well, I've been playing with Fox and Peppers for a while, so that's
like that's how
I felt like it, where I was like, okay, I was in I started playing with Foxes and Peppers at FC 2017, and I've done like every single FC. I think every single BLFC. And
I have
a
not
couple
done
of
FC yet.
ACs.
It's one of the when all of this crap lets up. I want to check out FC because I've never been.
What's it called? I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, so I've been to like I think every BLFC since 2017. I want to say anywhere or 2018 around there.
Yeah.
Wow, I got someone.
See, that's
Oh
part
my
of the fun.
God.
You'll be in the middle of talking about things, and then, the game is going to interrupt and assert itself.
Congrats,
Oh,
Taya.
Taya. Taya won.
Yeah.
I know Taya.
Quaxum says that's
Yeah.
part of the joke of my name.
So it was like song. Oh yeah, FC. So I've been doing cons for a while with Foxes and Peppers, but I've been doing cons in general as well. I haven't performed as a solo act yet, but I plan to do so when cons come back for sure.
I want to ask you, both of you, actually, something I've been thinking about. Like, when do you like? Obviously, the answer is whenever it's safe. But like, people are thinking about what are going to be the standards for like, am I going to come to this con and even think about promoting it by being at it? I don't even.
I haven't
I
given
don't
it
want to
very
promote
much thought.
anything that promotes people unsafe behavior.
Well, so there's a couple of cons coming up that, for various reasons, either we're like we've always been or matter to us because like things were scheduled and it's all on hold, and they're in the screwed by the state and/or hotel in that they can't tell
Yeah.
people not to come and they can't cancel the event without going bankrupt and hurting a lot of things. So a lot of events are in dubious legal spots right now, and that question's coming up. And one of the ones that like a lot of people in supposing the answer to that question, Zanny, is the event requiring confirmation of your vaccine card? And if they're not
Yeah.
doing that, I don't know the legality of doing that, of if you can. I would like to believe an event can if they so choose, because they are private events.
Yeah.
And that, hopefully the hotels are also putting safety measures in place. Are those requirements
yeah.
for me to even think about going? Yes. Would I announce? I don't know. I don't know if you, if you feel
it's all
differently,
about
Tonya, or not.
circumstantial.
Well, like I said, I haven't really given it thought. So for me,
Yeah.
it'll be like I don't know. I think I'm planning to go to FC because I've always driven. I like the drive, and I think things will be safe enough by January of next year that will be okay. But as for before that, I know that there's BLFC, and it's been kind of on my mind, and I don't know. I'm already vaccinated, but I still don't want to like you said. It's not like fantastic to promote an event, even if you're vaccinated, that isn't taking some precautions. Like for me, I am still taking precautions just because I'm vaccinated. I've done what's it called? I've done the 2 weeks. I'm 2 weeks. I'm actually 3 weeks past my my second shot.
Oh wow, yeah, you're super safe. Cyrus, you are so fucking good
I'm
at
still
that.
distancing. I'm still masking
Sure.
when I go out, and I'm still limiting.
I was
I'm
just
still
going to say,
limiting
like, the
what I
quick
do.
PSA is, even once you're in the safe spot, when you go out, you still need to social distance, you still need to mask up. The only thing a post 2 weeks vaccination gives you is you can safely be inside with other post-vaccinated people. That's it. That's all the vaccine does as far as, like, behavior changes you can do. Dr. Fauci just came out and recently said he won't even get on a plane or, like, do travel if he does not have to. And he is he's in the safe spot. So if Fauci won't, like, for fun, get on an airplane even masked and distanced, then I ain't either.
And that's because you can be a carrier, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly reduces, and, you know, I am not a doctor. As far as I'm aware, none of us on this call
I just want
are
to spell it out for
doctors.
chat and stuff. Yeah.
But I think what'll happen is one or more of these events are going to happen, and we're going to find out within, you know, that 2 to 4 weeks if they were super spreaders or not. And once an event happens where there isn't a super spreader event or any spread that can be contact traced to it, I will go to the next con after.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be BLFC too. Is the worst part.
I hate it because I went to my first BLFC. Honestly, I think that was it. I went alone, quote unquote, and I only just started getting to know Foxes and Peppers then, and I think that's when I really first got to hang out with you, Tonya, was at that con. Because, like, no one of any crew, like, I went because Taika went, hey, you want to come to BLFC? I'll give you a staff badge. So I said yes.
Interesting.
Well, Taika was at First Squared when he made this offer because we all kind of met through FCLR. So long story short, that's how I ended up at BLFC. And that's how, because BLFC gave all of their musicians some really cool stages. So there we go. Back to another question. Of the stages you've been on, which ones have been your favorite in the furry convention circuit that you've been to?
I have to think about that one.
Ooh.
I mean, because the thing about BLFC is that they've made the stage differently every year. So it's been like not they're in the same location, but they've built them differently every year, which makes them which really shakes things up a bit. I really like that one. I like the one at FC. FC's one has been the same like every single year, and I like that one. I have nostalgia for FC. It was my first con, 2014. So, yeah, I like the one in. I do like the one in BLFC, in NFC rather.
Okay.
Sorry, I just
MFF.
barred everyone in the milk aisle. I had to celebrate.
Unless I'm, like, completely misremembering, you were part of one of their special themed shows at MFF, I think? Yes?
I was at a theme show at MFF and BLFC. I was in the musical in BLFC, and I was in the Christmas show at MFF.
That's right. So,
Awesome.
Christmas show first.
I sang
I was there.
I sang the song in Navajo.
That's right. Is that posted anywhere?
I don't think so. I don't think that concert got recorded for whatever reason.
You know what? Let's Zanny and I will double check. If you know Silver
I think
Gatamon,
somebody
there's a
must
good
have, like-
chance if Silver Gatamon was there might actually be a recording.
I think he did actually. And it's like from the audience perspective, and the sound isn't great, but it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I am not an audio engineer wizard, but if there's something an audio engineer can do to massage the audio, that could be cool.
Yeah, because so it's also recorded in their album. In the Foxes and Peppers released that album. But my only caveat with that is that my pronunciation has gotten better since then, since I recorded that.
Oh.
So, I hear it and it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's really good recording, and there's no reason not to get it. But
No.
also, I feel like I definitely pronounce things a little bit better. I have a better understanding than I did back then of how to pronounce things in Navajo. And it's a difficult language, as you might have known about. It's not even my native language. I'm Atham, which I'm also learning. But I know Navajo because where I live, there are a lot of Navajos. And so it's the predominant native language.
How long have you been studying it and learning it?
I wouldn't say I've been studying it. I've never actually picked up a book, I don't think. I kind of just have been picking up things here and there that just like... It's like if you live... Like, my best analogy is if you live in East LA, you will pick up Spanish. Like, you will start... I don't know how else to explain it. You'll just, like, start picking up.
Yeah.
Oh, we live in Chicago. We get it.
Yeah. We what? Where do you live?
Chicago.
Oh, you live in
Chicago.
Chicago. That's right.
Just
Yeah,
like
yeah. Okay, so you
all
do
the
know what I'm
different
talking
pockets are very different and just
There are certain
But
things
yeah,
like
that's
even-
exactly the phenomenon that like that sort of like happens. That I've like just started to pick up some things because like I'll be in like even in a workplace and like there'll be like two Navajos and me, and they'll like joke about something and I won't get it, and then they'll like explain it to me, and then little by little I'm just like starting to pick up, things
That's
as I
cool.
go.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
the farthest... Zanny, I don't remember where you went with it, but I did, like, the middle school starting to learn a language. So, like, in 7th grade, you have, like, 3 quarters, and you do one of
Okay,
French, one of German,
your
one of
school is
Spanish.
better than mine. We did not have foreign languages in middle school.
Oh.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't have foreign languages in middle school either. I was gonna say.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I am, and to be clear, like, this is nothing I hide or anything.
No, it's okay.
I grew up pretty I call it modestly privileged. I used to think I grew up very privileged, and then I met the privileged people. So I'm privileged, but not like super duper.
There's different level of burbs. I get it. Like
There is, and I'm in like, I'm definitely in like the firmly like upper middle class portion of my suburb, but
sure.
my suburb had like diversity as far as it has diversity as far as income inequity. There we go.
Yeah.
But so 7th grade, you had to like take one class each short of the languages, and then in 8th grade, you had to pick which one you were going to do the full year of. So I did that for Spanish, and then I did 4 years of Spanish in high school. So I was never conversational, but like even today with almost not having practiced it, I could probably pick up a Spanish newspaper and like get the gist of things. I could get weather out of it, or like if there was a notice of construction or traffic or something, I can I know just enough of the main words that tend to get used in that. It's just kind of there. That's as far as any
Gotcha.
second language I've ever gone.
Most of my second language was all the Polish I learned from my family,
Oh
just
yeah.
from bitches and stuff.
So like I guess similar to that, Tonya, for any of those languages are like would you call it like a pidgin language? How much of other languages are you mixing in? Should you try to converse or speak?
Can you repeat the question to me? I'm sorry.
So like when I was practiced in Spanish and I attempted to actually, speak it, English always came back in because I didn't have any kind of spoken fluency. So I could hear someone say primitive things in the language, but I couldn't ever respond completely in the language. So, like, I guess, what fluency, you're talking about your pronunciation being better. I'm just kind of curious where you're at.
My fluency is not still not great. What I can do is have like basic, how are you doing? Can I help you? Like very, very basic things. And then like, let's talk about like, I don't know, how, like what's so-and-so up to? Then it starts to get difficult. Like someone's on, and
Okay.
I haven't practiced Navajo in a while because in favor of practicing my native language Otham, which I'm getting somewhat better at, but I'm also very behind. I didn't learn either of those languages growing up.
If you don't mind me asking, like, so I went through and had to do, the Spanish, German, and French. And Spanish and French were easy to go back and forth between because they're still Romance languages. The grammar is similar enough. The words are similar enough. Is anything like that between the Navajo and, what is it, Otham?
Otham. Actually not, because we're actually two different ethnic groups. And this is the fun part that a lot of people don't realize is that we're... American Indians are not all like the same ethnic group. Like we share some similarities, but it's like different European countries in a way. It's just like, look, so in Arizona, for example, in Arizona, New Mexico, there are like there are more, but like there are three like big ethnic groups, which are like the Athabascans, the I guess the Otham, and the Pueblos, right? And so the Athabascans are like Navajo, Apache, Havasupai, and their languages are somewhat similar. Like somewhat, there you can make a comparison of like that's like English to Spanish. Like there's some similarity where you can like kind of squeeze by going into like one from one language to the other. Like I've heard like an Apache person just like sort of talked to a Navajo person before, like in front of me, and I'm like, oh, they weren't speaking the same language. Like that's interesting.
And it kind of worked, or like it really worked.
Yeah, it kind of works. It kind of works. It takes a little work, but like it's just similar enough where like if one speaks to the other, they'll have to like work a little bit, but they'll pick up like what the other was trying to say.
Draggor, was it you telling me how you were saying how, you said sometimes a Spanish person can't understand a Mexican person just because of how different.
Yeah. So as far as like how the languages evolved, so the two I know,
That's
and I heard this following one I heard from a French Canadian coworker I had at the time when I was visiting there, and English was their second language, and it was in general the Quebecois can understand any French person pretty easily, but a French person could not understand a thick accented French Canadian because the dialect has drifted so much. And it's not as bad, but like a Mexican Spanish can understand Spain Spanish, but Spain Spanish might not have as easy of a time with Mexican Spanish.
That's crazy. Yeah, it makes sense.
And like the other equivalent,
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different because Apache and Navajo, that's like a better comparison would be like that's like Spanish and Portuguese. Like they're different languages, but they still like there's enough similarity where you could fudge it around.
Okay.
Now, Otham people, us like my language is nothing like Navajo, not in like grammar, words, nothing.
Wow.
Interesting. I had when I was working at the Sun Times, my boss is he was from Nepal. Quick little fun story there. He grew up using computers in Nepal, and the region he was in was so far outside of the city, rolling brownouts were common. So at any given instant, your computer reset.
Oh, no.
And he talked about a bunch about how in that area and in the surrounding countries, the languages would drastically change. Like kind of similar to what you're talking about in that they weren't even
Did they learn
necessarily.
save early, save often in that language?
Yeah. But he would in particular talk about how, like, if you drove the equivalent from Chicago, Illinois, and then went to Indianapolis, that might be not just like going from Spain to French, but a different language. And how there was kind of like a pidgin almost sort of common tongue where it wasn't like a language anyone was particularly fluent in. It was just this like this thing you could switch to get some kind of cross communication going. It was fascinating. So does like is it was there anything like that between tribes, like a trade tongue?
I can't answer that directly, but I can answer that. So I can answer that sort of, because that's like somewhat of. There's a little bit of a gap in my knowledge, but I can tell you some things I have learned.
Sure.
I was reading a book by Russell Means, who's a Native activist. He was in the original American Indian movement, and he lived. I forget his years, and I can't look it up because I'm in game. But he lived. He grew up in like the 1930s or 40s, I think. And so when he was a kid, he remembers that when he was a kid, that the elders, who, mind you, at that time, the elders had lived a life before they were forced onto reservations or boarding schools, that they had a specific way of communicating that was not like anything that he has seen since. Where they kind of were just like, they would look at each other a certain way, and they would that would just mean something. They would just look at each other a certain way, or gesture a certain way, and that would mean something, and they didn't have to like use very many words.
Interesting.
And
as someone who hates words, this appeals to me.
so it was very fascinating. It makes me wonder, like, wow, how. That's incredible that there was so much that like is lost or is dormant right now from those times, just such as that way of communicating.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of that gets lost, especially with all the bullshit that goes through history. I don't even have to finish that, but you get what I'm saying.
Actually, at some point, if you wanted to, you do not have to answer this now on this show, but if you wanted to be a guest on Last Minute Politics, gosh, I mean, we'd all love to drill into that.
Indeed.
Oh, that's a deep topic.
Yes.
But yes.
Oh, we are aware.
Okay. Oh, I don't even know if I want to touch that, but anyway.
Well, I was going to bring it back to music things because we have not yet gotten to one of the coolest things I have ever seen in furry, and I'm so glad, Tonya, you got to be a part of that. And that was the live rendition of the BLFC musical. And so, like, I guess at the beginning, how did you learn about it? What was your experience with it? And I guess for anyone who isn't aware that there was a furry musical, there was a furry musical.
There sure was.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I don't remember. Someone brought me on board, and I don't remember who. I can't remember if it was Pepper or Fox or someone else. But basically, I was gonna be there. That was one of the shows that they were doing, and I typically perform. I got 3 this time instead of 0. It's okay. I'm having fun.
Yay! I'm glad.
What was this?
BLFC, Fox or Pepper might have asked.
Yeah, I don't remember who asked me, but I jumped in, and I was kind of unsure how it was gonna go. And admittedly, so it's a funny thing, okay? If I don't know if this person would be listening, and I cannot remember their name, but I was, how do I say this nicely? I was kind of in a bad mood when I was at the rehearsal.
Oh no.
I wouldn't say I was rude, but I was definitely very bossy. And I only want to bring this up because like it's fun. It's good to laugh at yourself when you're not at your best, so to speak.
Yeah.
But basically, we were told to rehearse a certain hour, and the rehearsal didn't happen until like 2 hours later. So I was just sitting around doing nothing, basically. And I was upset because I was like, well, I'm here for a con. I'm volunteering to do this thing. And here they have me just like standing here and wasting my time. But you know what? Look, I want to say that everything that happened was worth it. Okay. And like, even though that I did like have that whole thing happen, that I am very proud of everyone who worked on that, including the staff, even though that the rehearsal didn't run very smoothly, but they were still very awesome. And they were very awesome. I want to say that they were very awesome when I was not awesome. Does that, I just wanted to say that. But as for the show itself, it was pretty cool. We got to sing songs written by Fox and Pepper. I think Pepper wrote the songs and Fox did the orchestrations for them. I think so, anyway.
I actually don't remember.
But anyway, I played a part, and in the end, I ended up voice acting 2 different roles. And we were basically sight reading because we didn't have enough rehearsal time. We didn't get to we didn't get to rehearse a lot of the spoken parts.
That is in one of the most endearing ways possible. Like, or was it you or Brian Massey or both where like the fan made the page turn and there's this scramble to get back to the position?
Oh my god!
I remember.
I think it was Brian Massey that happened to.
But so what I remember is I was voice acting 2 characters in that BLSC musical, and like I said, we hadn't had time to rehearse. So the show was the first time I was reading through most of it, and it had been modified. Like, and by say modified, like they reduced it. They didn't like change it. They just kind of reduced it so that it wouldn't be so long. So what ended up happening is, wow, I landed in front of someone. What ended up happening was that was the first time I read through it, was the performance. So I was like voice acting these 2 parts, and I didn't think these 2 characters ever interacted until I got to like until I got to 2/3 of the way in.
Oh jeez. And
then I like they highlighted everything I was supposed to like in the script. They highlighted everything I was supposed to I was supposed to say, right?
Yeah.
And I get there, and they were like, okay, well, there's 2 parts, and so here I go, and I did like a pretty substantial scene where I was voice acting 2 different characters, and I think I did pretty good with the what's it called, giving them 2 different voices.
Yeah.
And that was so it was a great experience.
Very cool.
It was one of those. I think it was Pepper was saying that because I was asking him a whole bunch about it. Because like as far as I don't know, from my perspective, that a furry convention happens at all, especially with my experience now in running them and helping them, is insane. So that a group of people got together and wrote, rehearsed, and put on an actual musical better than some of the things I've seen out there was just, I am in awe over it. I love it top to bottom, flaws and all. And I think the comment Pepper had was the original pitch, or like, because someone or a group wrote the story and like all the in-between scenes. Pepper and Fox did the music. So like they were kind of given the sketches of, okay, this song has to advance this or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I think that's kind of what it was. And the feeling that they got at times was like, oh, with this video wall, this is kind of more like a musical movie than a stage performance. And that brought interesting challenges because that video wall was finicky. Did it even work?
Yeah. No, it did. It ended up not working,
That's
but no one knew that. I didn't know that it was supposed to work. Like, I just didn't know that there was gonna be one. I didn't like. I saw there was a screen, but I just thought they were like regular. I don't know. But yeah, what I like to say is like, I'm constantly surprised like by how much. Well, there's a lot of talent in the fandom.
Yeah.
And a lot of it like. Unfortunately, well, 2 things happen. I think so. First, like a lot of it is untapped, and there are a few people I know that are super talented but prefer to just like not perform at cons.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they just like want to like, no, I don't want to like commit to doing something. I kind of just want to like chill out, which is valid. Don't get me wrong, but like there is a lot of talent out there, not just musically, but like that we could make productions like this in the future, and I hope we do. And I would love to write something of that caliber as well sometime. It's funny, like I've written music for like professional orchestras and stuff, and yet like there's a part of me that just like, I want to do something for the furry fandom. It doesn't have to be paid necessarily. Like it would be ideal if it's paid. No, don't get me wrong. Don't take that. I hope no one takes this part of the interview and said like, oh, you said you would work for free.
No.
Like, but like it would. But like, my point is, it would be really cool to work with for the fandom, and like work for the do some musical project within the fandom, and be able to, do something. I guess like more of these projects would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Well,
I would love to see more of those projects as well. I know Alkali is interested in coordinating some of the big ones, like something like that, and I think I've heard Sparf mention some things.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I
the
would love to
biggest
see
one
more.
that Sparf, Alkali, and I is as far as like putting a show together that at least I take a lot of pride in. Cosmic and Rhubarb as well is the variety show at Anthrocon. And where every year we do it, we try to like turn it more into a show and not just a bunch of people showed up. We're trying to make the show portions, the stitched together in between, to like, because if those the acts are always great. Go to any like medium or bigger fur con, and guaranteed you are probably gonna adore or be shocked by at least one act in a variety show going, holy shit, a bunch of furries showed up and that happened? Cool. And then like the part that I like and that I always liked growing up, Xander, you too, is these variety shows, these talk shows, these different things, and the interstitials, the host, the bits in between, the music in between. Cosmic and Rhubarb and Sparf being the stage manager and back. So like we'd get someone that would do, I want to sing this song, and it's a lot of times at a variety show, it's I don't want to call it karaoke because it isn't, but there's a backing track and that's it. Well, now we've buffed it up to where there actually is a house band, and if you submit your stuff early, they will learn the song, and then the whole thing is live. And it just elevates everything. I want to do more stuff like that. I want to continue to be involved in bigger productions like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there... I guess it's premature, but like, are you aware, Tonya, of anyone that's like, hey, we've been working on this in downtime and are looking to debut this when cons come back?
Well, the only thing I can say is that I'm like looking to debut an album, but like it's like I've been working on it and it's like about halfway done, I think. But yeah, it'll be like that's what I want to debut when cons come back. Is like a performance of my album.
Do you know like? So ideally, let's have fun. Let's spitball. Ideally, you're debuting this album. You get to do it at whichever con of your choosing. How many people are on stage in your ideal segment with different instruments and things?
Ideally, for my first one. Well, okay, I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit, but like, why not? Like, if it was like extreme and I was like, I could get anything.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a backing orchestra.
Hell yeah.
That's like, I don't think that'll happen like in the immediate future, but like in a more realistic sense, like I'd like to have like Runt or Teddy on drums and like someone on guitar, or maybe like Scales, Pepper, who else is on, and then maybe Flop on bass. Flop is an awesome bassist. He's Chicago based.
Yep.
You probably know him.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, I said I was gonna take a break from the game because I'm like a little dizzy trying to like talk and.
Oh,
Oh no.
you can opt out. You can close it. You can just hide the window and stand there.
Okay,
Please
I'm
do
just gonna
not
quit just
like
for a
make
little.
yourself woozy.
Yeah, it's not
for the
necessary.
gimmick.
Okay, yeah. I think I was just like trying to do too much at once, and I just like got home and like immediately jumped on. Okay, yeah. I'll jump in. I'll jump back in a little bit.
You tell me when
So,
you're ready
what
to
was I
jump
saying?
back in, and we will change up and do one last different game mode to end the thing that is just absolutely silly.
Okay.
It is good. It is good.
So yeah, so a couple of guitarists, bass, maybe some wind players. I'm like gonna forget someone that I know probably.
I was
that,
gonna say, are you looking for Benny to bring some horns?
Well, yeah, probably that would be cool. I'm trying to think of anyone else, but I'm sure that there's some other fandom musician that I know personally
It's
that I'm
horns,
just
it's
forgetting
ska.
to name. What?
We have a stupid joke at our house. I just say horns is ska every time I hear horns. Like that's ska. It's dumb. It's really stupid. Horns is ska.
But yeah, that would be like a pretty cool opening group. Like in the most realistic setting though would like that I'm thinking is like the first concert's probably just gonna be me on backing tracks and like maybe me on I'll have a keyboard piano on stage.
Okay,
And
yeah.
that and for like some of the songs, and then the rest of them will be backing tracks. But we'll see how that goes. It's like interesting. I don't know how my music will be received since it's not. I don't think I have really any furry based music. But that said, like the more like when I think about it, like I only reference Fox and Pepper because they're like they're like pretty known in the fandom. Not all their music, and not even most of their music is furry, and it's well received anyway. So,
Yeah.
So-
The music being furry in topic in and of itself is not a requirement. It's certainly like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't hurt as far as in the fandom getting your name out there if you happen to have a song, or like for example, you were part of a furry themed musical and that was written and put on by furries. That alone is just like essentially being on your credits. You can say, hey, here is some, because Xander and I go on about this. It's not even so much about specifically what you make. It's about a personal brand, if you will. And so like when people like you or they hear a thing you did, they're like, they want to check out what you do and what you want to do. They're not,
Yeah.
you know, most folks aren't necessarily looking for the things that they would do because then it's, you know, they're not participating with the artist on the artist's terms. So, like, I like
Right.
that furry kind of has a foundation in, oh, well, you know, you check out an artist because of their viewpoint, if anything.
True.
So that's a long way of saying your stuff, it does not have to be furry themed.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that. I'm just saying, like, when I thought about it, I realized that this, you know, the foundation of I didn't set out to write furry music anyway. I didn't set out to necessarily do anything. I just needed a medium for which to express like the things that I've seen in life that seem to be pretty unique and not always in a good way. And I just needed a way of expressing them. And like I said earlier, like songwriting just happened to be that. I used to do that. Well, not I used to. I also do that sometimes with orchestral writing, which I do a little less of because I don't have. Back in the day, I used to have much more or less regular access to an orchestra that might be able to like record something for me, and I'm working on having that again at some point, but I don't at the moment. But so right now, songwriting is my primary medium.
Very cool.
How, I guess, like for a layperson that doesn't really know, is there like a summary you can give of what's just so very different about writing between them? And like obviously, you know, there's a head count and like a parts count difference, but are there other things that most folks don't know about the difference between, you know, songwriting and orchestral writing?
Well, I can tell you the difference between songwriting and orchestral writing for me.
Sure.
But for someone else who does both,
Mhm.
it might the difference might be in like different aspects, if that makes sense.
Mm.
For me, a lot of the orchestral stuff I do is not quite to catch you necessarily with the hook like songwriting is. Like there's
Okay.
no chorus. There's
It's
no
like
like
mood.
there's no thing that like you come back to necessarily that like like
A
this
hook.
is like for example on Profound Encounter it always comes back to this is the story of a profound encounter with the veil beneath the with the world beneath the veil of thorns, and I keep coming back to that, and those have symbolisms, and it keeps coming back with the same melody and the same chord progression.
Okay.
There isn't that in the orchestra. There will be like returning themes, but it'll be so I experiment so much more with harmony in orchestra music. Like the harmonies are much more complex, the rhythms are much more complex. It is meant for that kind of music is meant to be played by extremely skilled specifically classical musicians. Maybe not extremely skilled, but skilled classical musicians. Some people instrumentalists that are specialize in that. That's the main difference.
So like what I've sometimes expressed this here and there, and in the rock world, or I guess more broadly the band and songwriting world, there's this like things can be too perfect, whereas it kind of sounds like when you're writing orchestra stuff, you're encoding perhaps into like the score itself what it should sound like. I don't want to say no exceptions, but that's kind of what I'm asking. Like,
Well,
is that
orchestral writing? Not only, really, you have to every single sound that comes out of those instruments, you have to be super specific. Every bowing of every string, like every time the violin player brings the bow to the strings, you have to specify how hard, which note, how long, like it down to like minute, like much more minute details. Whereas the songwriting, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but like even in the way I want to say it, with songwriting, there are more elements of here's what the mosaic will sound like, but you can or look like, but you can put it together like in any way that makes sense.
Gotcha. It's kind of like why you need a conductor, like the soft and the hard parts and all that kind of really complex shit. Whereas if with a song, you can just kind of like
With a song, here's a good example.
Mhm.
In Profound Encounter, there's piano, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I recorded that piano part.
Right.
I was very informal with the piano, but I didn't write down every single note. I kind of just thought up some chords, and I'm just arpeggiating them. And I kind of became after I practiced it a while, I became sort of consistent in doing this more or less the same thing. But I never wrote it down. That one's just meant to come out. The chord progression is what's important, and I'm kind of just playing with that in mind. I am not playing every single. I didn't map out every single one of those notes.
Right. Whereas with the orchestra, like this is how it's played, this is how it's soft. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they ask of you. That's what they will ask you in the orchestra setting.
interesting.
Thank you for taking the time to explain that.
There's so much stuff here with the like that. This must be done this way. Like, interesting.
Yeah, once you get into it, there's so much.
I'm
you
sure.
Can do. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to check in and ask how you're doing. You do not have to play anymore if you're not up to it, do not want to. But I do want to put the offer out there that we can do one more game mode with 1 or 2 more maps, so another 5 or 10 minutes if you like.
Is it what I'm thinking of? It is Draggor or no?
Yeah. The game mode, so the green weapon, the beam, the rail gun, there's a mode where that all everyone has is that weapon, and it's one-shot frags. And that is called Instagib. And then we also play it on one of the maps we played already, which we affectionately called Jumpy Bullshit. Headfox into the chat. You got it. Instagib and Jumpy Bullshit. Tonya, would you like to join for that? And then that'll be our outro and our wrap-up.
Okay. Yeah. I'm joining game, I think.
All right. I am going to...
There I am.
Jumpy.
Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, how do I get out of here? There we go. I'm in. Oh, did it start?
I'm restarting it and making those changes right now.
Okay.
Here we go.
So let's see. All right, but I am going to have to do a map change real quick. QCME. I don't have the best way of doing this all in one go. All right. The map is changing. I hope you've been able to enjoy this viciously fast game.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
Oh, there we
And
go.
if you like, we schedules and such aligning and permitting, I would love to have you back if you would like to be back. You do not have to answer commit here, but I figure around when your album's coming out, if you specifically wanted to talk about that. As I say, I use this podcast in part to talk to people I want to talk to and dig into stuff I'm curious about, and I hope other people listening are also curious about it. So, I love digging into what goes into the making of an album. It's just a hobby of mine. So, that. Anything else? If there's another topic you want to get into, if you want to go hard and heavy on a very serious topic, I gladly will do that. But this we're playing here is Instagib and Jumpy Bullshit.
Yeah, I'm actually better at this so far.
This makes me want to go to a trampoline park so badly because I've never gone.
I want to, once it's safe to do so, I do want to go to one, but I'm convinced I'm going to be the statistic that lands wrong and breaks my neck.
That's fair. What?
Oh no, Tonya!
If you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't fucking do it. Yeah.
Oh, also, the other thing of note...
I am doing so much better in this game mode, just as a side note.
Some people do better at this one, and some people do worse. This is the one that I am definitely a lot more proficient at.
It's reminds me of Pink Floyd.
Light show!
Yeah!
Oh, jumped too far.
Well, assuming
I've
it
never
is
been to a
safe...
Pink Floyd laser light show.
Assuming it is safe to do so, Tonya, I hope we are able to hang out, and I hope I get to see do a show at BLFC. But, obviously, safety first, as all of us are. Have you done anything? Do you have anything coming up for any virtual convention performances?
Not at the moment. I kind of was taking a break from it because I needed to focus on some other things that were going on in my life. Wow, I'm already talking faster due to the game.
Yes. That is why I in part picked this game as my gimmick for the show.
Keeps it
Not at
sweet.
the moment, but we'll see what comes up. If Anthrocon does a live show, I haven't checked to see if they're gonna do one. I might sign up for that.
Anthrocon, I believe, because I'm technically staff there, but I have not talked to anyone about what my specific role is this year. But they're angling to have everything be, or as much as possible, be pre-recorded. And they're really going to try and put a lot more into the prepare and have a very good, presentation, the graphics, the transitions, and have time to stitch all of that together beforehand. So I'm really curious to see what they do with that, because thus far, most of the conventions try to be live.
That'd be cool, actually. I think I'd be much more comfortable with doing a pre-recorded thing, because it always I think the other issue was not issue, but I always seem to have a busy work week the week of cons.
Right?
Work just ends up being busy that week, and so by the time I get to my concert, Oh geez, and then by the time the concert happens, I regain my energy because I get so excited to perform for people. But I am so pre-recording it sounds fun. I think if it were live, it'd be different. I think I'd have more energy for it because it's not just like I'm just setting up for this like. I'm not just here setting up for, blank like being in a room talking to a camera.
Yeah. Well,
And like be.
I was gonna say, like, could a bunch of you safely get together in where you're at and do like a small live and studio recording, kind of do a hybrid of it?
Possibly. We'll see what happens as the day gets closer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Cyrus, you just got so far ahead.
I got 2. Nice job,
You down
Cyrus.
for one final random map, whatever
Sure.
comes up? All
Sure.
right. And once this is done, my leg is killing me, so I will be ending the scene in Twitch. If anyone's on Twitch and has a recommendation of someone I should raid into, I will gladly do that. If there's no recommendations and there's someone in my list, I will do that. Tanya, do you have one?
Well, I was just gonna say, can I plug myself in a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely. Take all of this
Absolutely.
time to plug.
So,
Plug
please
away.
follow my social media. Oh, did I accidentally quit? I guess I did.
I see.
Oh yeah,
you
I
in
did.
here.
There it is. Xandronum quit unexpectedly.
Oh.
all right.
Oh, no.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, you found a crash.
Well, it's fine. Actually, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna rejoin. But thank you for having me. So I was just gonna do plugs.
Yeah, we're here for plugs.
I think right now, I think the best place to contact me is through Twitter. That's where I'm most active. I know that's not. I will get a website soon. So you can find me there. Tonya Tonya _SONG. Tonya Song. My persona's a mouse. It's pretty. You'll see that it's me. That's funny to you for some reason.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
it is.
And
I embedded it in the blog post so that a portion of that picture showed up in the Twitter posts.
great, awesome. And my Bandcamp. So two singles are available for download right now at my Bandcamp. The first one is one of them is Profound Encounter, which we talked about earlier, which is my song about being trans.
Mhm.
And the other one is called Condor Awake, which is a song about the struggle of indigenous peoples in Bolivia and the recent coup that happened in Bolivia.
Wow.
So both of those songs are for sale. They're $2 each. You can pay more. I would really appreciate it if you supported my music, because the more you buy, well, there's only 2 things to buy right now, but the more people buy, I guess, the more I am able to continue doing music and hopefully be able to be fully freelance at some point. So that would be fantastic. My Bandcamp is Tonya Song, one word, TONYASONG. I am working on an album. Those who I gamed with, if you see me on the what's it called, Discord server. Feel free to add me on Discord if you want to. Only reason I say that is because how do I say this nicely? It's been a lonely time since COVID
Yeah.
happened, so I'm just like, oh my god, I can't even talk to you about how many times I've watched the same movies over and over, or just sat on my ass. And so it's it'd be cool to just meet people. So if you ever want, so those, I'm not gonna say that publicly, but if anyone on the Discord chat is free to do so.
Sure.
I'll also what else?
Really quick, for the links
go ahead.
that you just mentioned, Tanya, if you go to the website that is currently at the top of this stream, draggor.me, there is a blog post that is about this episode, and it contains all of those links. So that is a quick way to go check that out. Or, find the Twitter one, and then your Twitter profile links to a bunch of that stuff, too.
Yep. And yeah, I guess support native sovereignty, support trans rights,
Oh yeah.
and support all of these important causes: Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, and many others that I can't think of right now. But the native sovereignty and trans rights are, of course, the two issues closest to me. And so I just wanted to say that, and thank you very much.
Hey, thank you
to you
for
guys for having me.
saying yes to my weird ask out of the blue.
And sure, I'll definitely I am definitely open to coming back on the show. It doesn't even have to be for the album. Once I get to it, it can be whenever.
Yeah,
if you're looking to fill a show.
I mean, I wouldn't say fill a show, but yes, I would love to have you
Right.
back for
That
a
actually
show.
was kind of mean by my part. I was actually like, "Oh, you're like, you must be struggling to fill your guest slots. I'm so sorry."
No, well, okay, yes, I am, and I do filler shows regularly.
Okay. I just
I didn't
realized
want it
after
to
I
sound
said it.
like you were a filler.
No. Oh, okay. No, I thought I was the one being insulting because I
No,
was like,
no. This is casual. This is casual. It's all for funsies. And if I luck into some good stuff like I had today, huzzah! I'm glad. And if I don't, worst case, I got to play Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. That was awesome, and I don't think there was anything else I wanted to add. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it.
Right on.
And this has been. We're at the next map, and my leg is killing me, and I have to pee. Yay, TMI. This has been Dooming with me, Draggor. Thank you, Tonya, for being the guest for the episode today. And of course, thank you, Zanny, for joining me and helping co-host and pinch hit when I inevitably get too lost in the game.
No problem.
And thank you to everyone in the chat who is here to hang out, and of course in the server and the game server and the Discord server. We did that portion first, so this is the end of the show. I am about to end the stream. Next week, I believe we have SemJ, and then on my website at draggor.me/doom, there's a calendar where I announce who's coming up. There's a gap in between where I don't have stuff filled yet. That's in progress, but some point in the future, Cosmic is going to be on, and I tentatively have Rhubarb saying yes as well. So I'm trying to get more furry musicians in.
Nice.
Alice Kane Wolf, I believe, is going to say yes. Spoiler, I'm in the talks of commissioning her to do a metal intro for this show. So,
Alice
yeah.
was another one of those Alice was another one of those people that I knew I was gonna forget. Like, awesome musician also.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
then Rhubarb and Cosmic are, of course, they're like fantastic also. Real quick, I know that we're like short. We're like
It's
pretty much out
okay.
of
Go
time.
for it.
Just like I was talking about my two songs, and then on Condor Awake, which is the other song, Runt and Rhubarb are in that.
Oh, yay.
Rhubarb is played trumpet and trombone several times, so it sounds like a huge brass band.
Cool.
Runt played percussion, so he has like all these drums that he played. And I not only did I sing, but I also I played flute and clarinet multiple times. So it's in total, it sounds like a big band.
Ooh.
Oh,
I have
wow.
not listened to that one yet, and now I'm going to go check it out.
Even though it's only 3 people, it sounds like a full live band, like a wind band. So yeah, definitely check it out. Condor Awake. It's on my Bandcamp.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you, Tonya. Thank you, Zanny. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.